YouTube, I'm your host Nia Costa and I'm here with Alvin. I doubt introductions are needed, so let's dive right in. Tell me a little about yourself and Naya and your new unreleased film, Sweet 16.
I'm excited to be here, Mia. I acted as a director, cinematographer, location scout, and casting director for Sweet 16.
Now for my first question. How did your production skills develop throughout this project?
My production skills developed significantly throughout the creation of Sweet 16, particularly in planning and filming. Prior to this project, I never considered the amount of planning necessary to ensure filming itself runs smoothly and the responsibilities that would come as director. Specifically when it came to set design and the purchasing of props, setting the scene of Alice's house took nearly an hour. I had to buy birthday props like balloons and the birthday cake to ensure that the scene looked like a birthday, and even create fake blood with food dye and corn syrup, which was not originally planned. As a result, maintaining a strict schedule and managing my time were crucial aspects that came with this project. And with this, I learned that you can't jump right into filming without prep. Additionally, you have to account for the time used for research, the storyboard, and the script, which sums up to a minimum of a week if you're thorough with it. Inside and outside of acting, improvising was another key skill that was needed, and ultimately we had to make the best of what we had. However, I believe I've made the most improvements in terms of cinematography. My initial approach to cinematography was quite basic, but as I progressed, I became more intentional with shot composition and camera movements to reflect Alice's psychological state. This is noticeable with the POV shots used. For example, in the beginning forest scene with Eleanor, the shot is not simply meant to be a tracking shot, but instead a POV shot intended to look like Eleanor is running from the camera itself. This shot adds suspense, mystery, and even tension. Another example would be the birthday party POV shot. Again, this shot puts the audience in the lens of Alice, except it's blurred and disoriented, as if she was asleep or unstable. Other shots, like the over-the-shoulder and even close-ups, were also crucial to fully demonstrating Alice's emotions and actions. However, I believe the composition of these goes past what the viewer sees and shows my ability to use visual language to convey meaning and hint at Alice's true colors and fragmented identity. Lighting was another area where my cinematography skills improved. Initially, I relied mostly on natural lighting, but as I started to manipulate lighting conditions to create a darker, more unsettling tone. For instance, in the final scene, I used low-key lighting to reflect isolation and instability, which helped reinforce the psychological horror drama. I also paid more attention to color and tone, lighting the area with dim candles, ensuring that the visuals supported the eerie atmosphere.
Interesting. How did you integrate technology, software, hardware, and online in this project?
In this project, I integrated a range of technologies throughout, combining hardware, software, and online platforms to create and share the final product. In terms of hardware, I used the camera of my iPhone and my partner's iPhone to ensure high-quality footage that allowed me to experiment more confidently with framing and composition. With the smartphone, I was able to review footage on set, which helped with continuity and made the filming process more efficient. Lighting equipment was minimal due to lower budget, so I adapted by using available lighting and adjusting camera settings, which helped me better understand how to control mood through the camera itself. Notably for darker scenes, I heightened the exposure to make the setting appear more dark, and I frequently used different camera lenses, as well as the camera's capability to zoom in and out of frame to make the shot to my liking. For software, the main editing program used was Capcut. This free-to-use app made editing quick, easy, and efficient. It allowed my group to experiment with pacing, transitions, and effects, particularly when representing Alice's hallucination through visual distortion. Audio tools within the software were used to layer sound, adjust volume levels, and add an eerie effect, which enhanced the psychological tensions of the opening and created this suspenseful atmosphere. Finally, for the online aspects, we also pulled sound from a website known as Pixabay, which provided free, non-copyrighted sounds to incorporate into the film. However, online technologies were most essential for research and distribution. Before filming, I studied many films and websites, analyzing how mix and sound, compositions, and editing come together to make a horror film, which influenced my ideas around cinematography and narrative structure. When it comes to distribution, the opening was posted on YouTube, allowing it to reach a wider audience beyond the classroom easily.
That's all for today, YouTube. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye!